Caruso runs a break. Caldwell Pope goes to the wing here. James! Oh!
Trying to play at the defensive end. Got blown by back.
Oh, yes!
Hook jam!
Harden, step back. Puts up the three. Got hit. Shot's good! And one!
Back this time here, set.
Oh, Russell Westbrook!
I didn't get to watch too much of the last game. It's the Clippers versus the Mavericks series. The Clippers beat the Mavericks 111-97. It was kind of, the writing was kind of there. We saw last game, Paul George put on a phenomenal performance after, getting bullied on the internet and being decimated, or not being, but like being talked bad about by many for his first 3 game performances. He bounced back in game 4. And what was that game 4? Or this is game 6. So he bounced back in game 4. Yeah, he bounced back, and finally he had a good game. But last game he only had 15 points, shot 6 for 19 from the field. Like I said, it was Kawhi put up 30 again. It was kind of there. Luka, like I said, then with his ankle injury, KP's out with his injury. So it was kind of written that the Clippers was going to win this series. What does that mean? So, 2 takeaways I got from this. This is good for the Mavericks, because obviously with Luka, him and his playoff performance, his playoffs debut, put on a phenomenal show. If we go back to at game 4, where he hit that clutch. So that was game 5, my fault. So at game 4, where he hit that clutch shot to tie the series, that was pretty pivotal. And he had 40 points, triple-double, I think, that game as well. He had 40 points, I know for sure. That was pretty cool, and that's a good showing for Luka Doncic going forward in the future, because he's only 21 years old. So if he's doing this already in his playoffs debut, the future is bright. But one concerning thing I did notice is about KP, Kristaps Porzingis, and his injury, because that's one thing that's kind of a knock on him, is his injury and going down in a crucial time like this in the playoffs where they could have needed him the most. I don't want to. I mean, that's kind of been a problem already early on in his early career already. But hopefully, this is not a recurring thing we see from Kristaps going forward in his future, because that tandem of him and Luka is very dominant. I saw some stat that said since coming to the bubble, they averaged 30 apiece. So you obviously keep those two together, but you got to be concerned if you are the Mavericks about KP's health, and hopefully he can stay healthy in order for this team to have great success in the future. Another takeaway I got from this series is, couldn't Clippers stay in sync to advance to the finals like I predicted and many others predicted themselves? What I mean by staying in sync, I mean by playing cohesively, because one knock on them is that I think it was 16 games that they played as a complete roster where everybody played. Nobody was hurt or nothing. Only 16 games this season. It might have changed. I don't think Pat Bev has been out. But 16 games that they all played as a full roster. So, as I mean in sync, is the Clippers going to be able to pull it together. Is Paul George going to come out of this slump? I know he attributed his slump days in due to mental issues that's been going on with him being inside the bubble. And I know it can be a little bit stressing on these players as they are in the bubble and away from their families. Granted, now that they are allowed their families to come to the bubble and allow one guest per game as they advance to the second round. So hopefully that helps him. I'm not going to say that, suck it up. I understand, Paul. So hopefully he can find something within himself, and hopefully his team can stay uplifting him in his inner circle so they can get past and make it to the finals like how I predicted. But I go back to what I'm saying about them playing in sync, you got to worry about that Paul George factor. Pat Bev, can he come back from his injury and still contribute? Are they all going to be able to figure out each other's role? Montrez, he didn't play as well when he came back from his injury in the beginning of the playoffs, but he started to get his feet wet and starting to get back into the Montrez that we know now. Are they going to be able to continue this and play well? Because Kawhi, with his big-ass hand, has been the glue keeping this team together. and holding it down and keeping them in this playoffs, averaging over 30 this whole entire series. Cause he's been putting up 30 something every game. If he's gonna be the glue to hold his team together, and the rest of the pieces on that team like a Paul George, Lou Will, Montrez, Pat Bev, Morris, they all gotta come in, contribute, and they all gotta stay in sync. I think that's one big thing that they need to do in order for them to go to the championship, like many, like me, predicted them to be in.